Pregame show. Packers getting set for their 73rd appearance in a Monday Night Football game. That is the 10th most by any team in NFL history. And when you talk about the NFL, you have to talk about the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, one of, if not the most iconic franchises in the league's history. But organizing that history, keeping all the records straight is no small task. Let's welcome in Jared Fialco back in our Milwaukee studios. And Jared, obviously, there's one guy in charge of all this. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Dario, there is a lot of history to sort through, from the early days and legendary coaches like Curly Lambeau and Vince Lombardi, to the game changers, men like Reggie White, the Minister of Defense, and multi-time MVPs like Rodgers and Favre before him. Tally it all up, 103 years of history, the winningest all time in the NFL. And when it comes to the Chronicles from 1919 to present day, no one knows more than the gatekeeper of all things green and gold, Cliff Crystal.
If you believe in miracles, certainly that it's a miracle.
He is the authority on all things Green Bay Packers.
Well, I don't want to sound too vain, but I can't imagine there's anybody who has done more research and spent more time researching. It's kind of been my life.
Cliff Crystal watched his first of hundreds of games in person 70 years ago.
Yeah, my grandmother got me interested in history when I was a young boy, 8, 9, 10 years old.
The Wisconsin native spent 36 years on the green and gold beat for 4 different newspapers. And in 2014, the franchise offered him the role as team historian, where he completed his opus.
Certainly the most satisfying.
The greatest story in sports, cramming 100 years of history into a 4-volume, 1,000-plus pages of print.
The completion of it was a dream come true. Been involved in other projects that I found challenging and interesting, but nothing like this.
But in Crystal's extensive research,
As great as our history is, it became a muddled mess.
he discovered history and accuracy
So many of the stories are untrue.
don't necessarily go hand in hand.
I mean, for example, the G, our G logo, is not the original G. It was changed in the late 1960s. Vince Lombardi retired Paul Hornung's number, but it's not been retired officially.
So Crystal set out to myth bust,
It's a lot harder to debunk a story than to tell a story.
fact-checking source notes, microfilm, team minutes, ticket records, pre-Great Depression day score sheets to get it right.
The challenge was kind of like trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
In that regards, how proud are you that the real story of this franchise gets to be told through your work?
Certainly, I took pride in what I was able to uncover. This history of this great franchise needed to be preserved and needed to be preserved accurately.
And we will be right back on the Big 12 Sports Countdown to Kickoff.